There's one type of fish which is really popular here in Sweden, and that's the herring. Swedes eat it pickled, they eat it as part of a midsummer smorgasbord, and they probably eat it while they're sleeping. And when it's fermented, it can make people react like this.
Oh, here we go. What's happening? Oh, that's the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life.
So how would this tiny, harmless fish cause a diplomatic crisis between Sweden and Russia? Let's go back in time again for some context. There have been about a dozen wars between Sweden and Russia over the last 800 years. But from 1600 to 1725, they were really struggling over control of the Baltic Sea and the land around it. That's this great big beautiful body of water right here. And there was a big focus on the Baltic Sea because of the S word, shipping.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
There's about 2,000 ships at any given moment in the Baltic Sea. It's a really big region for trade routes, and it obviously was hundreds of years ago too. I'm not going to bore you to death with all the details of every war between Sweden and Russia and how their borders changed, but you can see the borders occasionally bumping up against each other. Finland and Norway became a thing, and then Denmark became a much smaller thing. Swedes don't mind that. Wink, wink. Eventually, we get to 1981. Sweden, the Soviet Union.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
At the end of October, a Whiskey-class Soviet submarine got stranded on the rocks near Karlskrona in far southern Sweden, and it was spotted by some fishermen there. Apparently, this historical event is pretty commonly called Whiskey on the Rocks, which... Great job, guys. Really clever. The crew on the submarine told the Swedish military that it happened because of a faulty navigation system and they had accidentally drifted 100 miles off course. But you had to use very precise maneuvers to go that far into the bay, so the Swedes were like, a mistake like this is worthy of the Guinness Book of World Records. Swedish experts confirmed there could be nuclear weapons on that submarine, which was probably a no-brainer because of the Cold War. So after a tense 10-day standoff with negotiations, the Swedes didn't blow anything up, the Soviet Union didn't blow anything up, they got their sub back, and everything went back to normal. That was just an appetizer to the main course. You see, that wasn't the only time the Swedish military thought the Soviet Union was using submarines to try and spy on them. Sweden's military also started hearing underwater hissing noises that sounded exactly like submarines. They couldn't find any evidence of subs, but they did see air bubbles right after they would hear these noises. Let's fast forward to 1994. The Cold War was over, but Sweden was still picking up enormous amounts of these noises, and so the Swedish Navy was holding massive submarine hunts. The Swedish Prime Minister very confidently full sends the Russian president a really angry diplomatic letter protesting submarines in Swedish waters, which probably went something like this. Dear President Yeltsin, your submarines. With love, Prime Minister Bill. With again, no hard evidence of the noises the military had been picking up. This unclassified US document even says, the Swedish side does not possess precise and clear arguments which indisputably prove the appearance of Russian submarines in Swedish territorial waters. In our experts' opinions, the Swedes will have to find a way of extricating themselves honorably from an unpleasant situation which is of their own making. And then Sweden has some researchers and scientists get to work.
Yes, science!
One of those researchers is a professor from the University of Southern Denmark, Magnus Wahlberg, who begins to help uncover this mystery. After years of studying, they start looking at animals that might be causing these noises, and that's when they take a deep look at the herring, the ever-popular fish in Sweden.
Should we try this? We just bought a fish in the supermarket. This is actually the secret film we made for the Swedish military. But you can do it yourself. You just buy a few fish and you lower them below the water and you put your ear below water and you squeeze the fish and you get this beautiful concert.
That's because the herring has a swim bladder which is connected to the anal duct, which is only found in herrings. So if it squeezes its swim bladder, it can let out these air bubbles or farts.
We did it, Joe.
It does it to communicate with other herring, and that's because they swim in schools that can have several million fish in each group.
Producing a high-pitched buzzing sound that they can hear, but most other fish can't.
And it's obviously loud enough then that it can be picked up by military sensors.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
And since this discovery, relations between Sweden and Russia have been going swimmingly. Not really. But hey, I bet the Swedish Prime Minister and the Russian President both had a laugh together about that angry letter. Do you like laughing? Laughing at me? Laughing with me? It doesn't really matter. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out my last video over the Yevla goat by clicking there on the screen. Thanks for watching.